go. So 5 reasons why I believe that Messi is the MVP this season. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Number 1 is the most obvious. Statistically, he is the best player in the league. Goal contributions, almost 2 per game. The closest people to him are Cucho and Evander at 1.2 per game. Nobody comes close to the contributions that he has provided in his games. Not Lucho, not Luis Suarez, nobody. On top of being statistically the best, he just is the best. There is no disputing that. So for a lot of people, they believe that the MVP award goes to the best player. Messi is hands down the best player. That's reason number 1. It's the easiest and most simplest reason. It's the one that most people go with. Best player, most goal contributions. That's number 1. Easy. Reason number 2, supporter shield. Supporter shield, and now the reason I put this one is because a lot of people are saying that Evander should be or could be the MVP. Usually the supporter shield winner, either first or second place, have a bit of an edge on winning the MVP, right? If you are the MVP, you helped your team do well. Over the last 10 years, supporter shield winners have 3 MVP titles. If you ended up between 2nd and 5th place, 5 players won the MVP because they helped their team become the top 5 in the supporter shield standings. Only 1 between 6th and 11th, 1 that was in 12th place, and then if you have 13th or further down in the standings, nobody has won MVP that far down. And Evander, I believe his team is currently ranked 16th in the supporter shield standings. So, reason number 1, best player. Reason number 2, he is the best player on the supporter shield winners. Any questions or any doubts on my first 2 points so far, Solana?
Keeping my mouth shut till I see all 5.
All right. So here we go. That's number 2. Number 3. This is where everybody likes to turn around and say that Messi is not the MVP. The Messi-less summer. He missed the summer. This is true. Okay? And everybody wants to talk really nice about, but Inter Miami did so well without Messi. They played so well without Messi. They played 9 games without Messi. They won 8 of those 9. That is very impressive. I will give you that. But of those 8 wins, 6 of those 8 wins were against teams that were non-playoff teams. And everybody talks about how easy it is to get into the playoffs. Everybody gets into the playoffs. So guess what? There's very few teams that are not playoff teams. The few teams that are not playoff teams are usually really bad teams. And Miami beat 6 of those bad teams in that summer run. So I think that taints a little bit of the whole we were so much better without, or we were just fine without Messi, when you look at the fact that you beat a bunch of scrubs. They had 1 good victory, which was against Columbus 2-1. And then when they played another good team, which was Cincinnati, they got their ass kicked 6-1. So I feel like that needs to be accounted for when you talk about the Messi-less summer that everybody likes to bring up as to why Messi should not win the award. So that's reason number 3. And reason number 4. I like to break up the season into 3 parts. Before Copa America, the summer, which I just covered, and then after summer. Before Copa America, people seem to forget the fact that this team, whenever Messi did not play, looked lost. Messi carried this team in the beginning of the season. They played 18 games before he left to Copa America. With Messi, he played 12 of those games. In those 12 games, he had 12 goals, 13 assists. They had 27 points. They were on pace for 76.5 points or 76 points, 77. Without Messi, they played 6 games in the beginning of the season. They literally scored 7 goals in those 6 games. They were lost without Messi. They had 8 points. They were on pace for 40 points. All those games they played without Messi, that's what they were on pace for. Okay? Messi carried the team that first part of the season. Everybody says that, they did so well during the summer without him. They would have won the supporter shield without him. They would have been really, really bad in the beginning of the year if Messi isn't part of that team. Messi carried that team. In those 12 games, he literally had 12 goals and 13 assists. We were top of the supporter shield standings when he left. Messi doesn't get enough credit for what he did before he left to Copa America. Because it was in the beginning of the season, people seem to forget that. And on top of that, In those 18 games and the 12 games that he played, there were a lot of players that were injured. Players that missed time. Diego Gomez missed 7 of those 18 games. Jordi Alba missed 6. Federico Redondo missed 9. Yannick Bright didn't play any of those games with Messi. Ian Frey missed 18 games. And the reason I bring up Yannick Bright and Ian Frey, because they were part of that summer team. The summer came and players started getting healthy again. You started getting some of the young guys playing better. So that all contributed to the summer where they played better without Messi. But all those guys were missing in the beginning of the year. If Messi isn't there to carry the team, they look a lot worse. And they don't get the supporter shield at this moment. You forget that LA Galaxy, that second game of the year, Miami looked lost. That was a horrible game. They should have lost that game. And it was Messi that almost at the death scored a goal to give us a point. So Messi doesn't get enough credit for the beginning of the year and the load that he carried. Okay? Now, here is my 5th and last point. Okay? I gave you the first 4, and then everybody's still going to say, but he didn't play enough games. Right? That's the biggest argument so far. He didn't play enough games. Okay? If he plays next Saturday, it's going to be 19 games that he's played. Now, if I were to ask you, Solana, and just give me a quick answer, how many games would you say it's acceptable to win the MLS Cup? The MVP.
I would say 27 games.
27. Okay. Now, that's a high number. Okay. 27 games, missing 7 games. Okay, that's fine. Now, Messi, if he plays next week, it'll be at 19. So he would have played 19 games and won the MVP. Now, this is why I bring this up. This is the MLS MVP. And there is a precedent set for winning the MVP playing less than 20 games because it's happened before. Now, I see you looking down at your notes. Yes, that's why I took a look at your notes, and I thought it was a little weird that you didn't have this. So, in 2011, Dwayne De Rosario played 18 games with the DC United.
You see, my friend?
No, well, here we go. 18 games with DC United. Now, the thing is, he was traded twice in the season and somehow still won the MVP. He started the season with Toronto, played 2 games. Then he went to the Red Bulls, played 13 games with them. Then he got traded again, and he finished the season with DC United. He finished the season with DC United. He played 18 games for DC United.
Yeah, but he played 29 games overall that season. Had
That's
15
fine.
goals, 11 assists, and he played 2,600 minutes. Messi,
Messi
hasn't played 1,500.
But that's fine. But was he that valuable to DC United? He only played 18 games for them, and they ended up the season in 12th place.
Well, it wasn't just valuable for DC United. It was his season as a whole, playing for 3 different teams.
So why did he get traded twice? He got traded twice. Not that valuable.
But that's not his fault. That's not his fault that he got traded.
And Mike McGee in 2013.
He didn't play 18 games. That's 22 he played
games.
More.
No, but for that team.
Yeah, he
had an impact of 18 games.
But he played 29 games overall that season.
But that doesn't matter. So if Messi would have played the other 10 games for Argentina.
No, because that's not MLS. If Messi would have played the other 10 games for Montreal.
But we're looking at the impact that they have on the team that they're currently on.
But he had an impact on all the teams that he was on. Not just
he
on
didn't.
DC
He
United.
got traded twice.
Yeah, but he got traded because of
MLS
rules.
Look, I got the Red Bulls right here. I got the Red Bull stats. He played 13 games for the Red Bulls. He had a whole 2 goals and 4 assists. MVP material. For Toronto, he played 2 games, had 1 goal, no assists. Like, come on, man. This guy wasn't MVP caliber.
You're also
and he played 18 games.
You're also talking about 2011 MLS. I mean,
and 2013.
Dwayne De Rosario. I mean, he was a baller for the Canadian national team. I mean, dude, this guy was an MLS legend back in the day. I mean,
there is a precedent for players that played with certain teams and played 18 games for DC United, 22 games for the Chicago Fire. Come on, man. They didn't have an impact on those teams doing well. They barely played for them. And if you look statistically, Messi outperformed just about everybody in the league this year. These guys, those statistics don't hold a lighter to the sun that is Messi with those stats. And Messi did it in 18, 19 games if he plays next week. they got traded in the season. Come on, man. Look, there's a precedent set for this. Messi, and this is a sixth reason, and I'm not even going to mention it as a reason, but I'll say it. He's also the most valuable just because he is the most valuable person to this league, period. And that doesn't go into my 5 reasons because that's just a general opinion, but he is the most valuable person to this league, period.